What's your stage name so I can look you up?
King Harris.
King Harris?
You know T.I.?
Huh?
T.I.?
Who's that?
That's my
No,
father.
I don't.
Wait till I get back and see him. Wait till I slap a... Alright, yeah. Yeah, wait. Wait till I come back in the market late night. And then it's just you and I you up.
Children gonna be children. Kids will be kids, man. You know what I'm saying? I expect that from them. I expect them to do the wrong thing.
Word around Atlanta is that King Harris's reckless attitude might have finally caught up with him. The son of trap pioneer Clifford T.I. Harris Jr. has always carried himself like trouble was just one step behind. But one late-night cruise through the quiet suburbs flipped everything upside down and landed him in headlines from TMZ to Hip Hop DX. What began as a regular October night in 2024 turned into chaos. King, just 20 years old, behind the wheel of a sleek black BMW, pulled out of a gas station in Dune, Georgia, unaware his next move would spark national attention.
Saying that you weren't allowed to turn left right there because it's separated by those double yellow lines.
I apologize.
I got you. Do you have your license on you?
As he rolled out, the car nearly clipped a police cruiser. Blue lights lit up the night, and in seconds, a simple drive turned into a scene of panic. Officers pulled up expecting an ordinary traffic stop. Instead, they found the son of Atlanta rap royalty with weed filling the air, a gun strapped to his hip, and a live warrant hanging over his name. Bodycam footage, leaked months later in 2025, captured everything. King looked calm, hands up, voice steady, even as officers sniffed the loud and spotted the steel glinting at his side.
I smell some weed in the car, so our procedure is we gotta check it. Is there anything else that I need to be aware of?
Nah, I don't want y'all to check the car.
I can't hear you.
I don't want y'all to search the car.
Well, I understand that, but if I smell weed, that's probable cause to search the vehicle.
You're not gonna find them. You're gonna find my guns.
Just multiple guns?
I got a stick, an AR.
The real shock came when dispatch confirmed his name carried baggage. An active bench warrant out of Pickens County for skipping a 2022 court date tied to earlier traffic charges. Speeding, DUI, and driving on a suspended license. Small violations on paper, but skipping court turned them into a trapdoor waiting to snap shut. The moment the warrant flashed on screen, the cuffs clicked tight. Just like that, King Harris, the kid who spent years online trying to prove his street credibility, was riding in the back of a squad car. What he thought was a flex became viral content. For T.I., it was the very nightmare he had warned about. The trap legend turned mogul had always said his son was playing too close to the fire. T.I. built his empire to shield his kids from the same mistakes. Hustling, federal cases, and enough courtroom heat to scar a lifetime. But King had no interest in the gated safety net. He craved authenticity. That tension spilled out publicly in 2023 during a Falcons game when he clashed with his father in front of fans and cameras. King shouted he was never raised with silver spoons, claiming he spent more time in his grandmother's rough neighborhood than in the Harris mansion. For King, it was about proving realness. For T.I., it was a son dismissing everything he had sacrificed. The clip went viral, turning their family struggle into online comedy. So when King landed in handcuffs months later, with weed, a gun, and a warrant, the internet treated it like prophecy fulfilled. T.I.'s warnings had become reality.
So they did confirm it. So the warrant is valid and they do want you. Hello. And now that I'm thinking about it, I want you to make sure that you know your rights. I'm gonna read your Miranda real quick. Just give me 1 sec. Just gonna read you your Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law.
Here is the twist. Despite the gun and the smell of weed, Georgia law meant neither guaranteed serious charges. King had a license to carry, and small amounts of marijuana usually led to fines, not felonies. By the very next day, October 15th, 2024, the warrant was cleared, and King walked free. Legally, it was a scratch. Culturally, it was a storm. Blogs, gossip outlets, and Twitter feeds exploded. TMZ screamed, T.I.'s son arrested, guns and weed found. Hot new hip-hop painted it as another rap kid chasing hood stripes. Atlanta Black Star mocked him for wanting so badly to play gangster. And fans dissected the bodycam footage. Some laughed at him for acting tough, while others sympathized with a young man who stayed respectful even as he looked confused by the warrant. The clip even caught a rare, vulnerable moment. King asking officers if he could call his father. It turned into a viral case study of father-son dynamics. a privileged but conflicted kid trying to stand on his own, yet still needing his dad's hand. On social media, it was entertainment. But in the streets, the whispers sounded far more serious.
King's about to have a son.
King's about to have a son. Congrats.
Yeah. And I told him I'm gonna make this the greatest gangster of all times. I will raise this child to torture you the way that you torture.
When the footage finally surfaced in 2025, the internet caught fire. Rumors spun instantly. Claims of King getting jumped in county jail, whispers of him facing years inside, and talk of T.I. pulling strings to shield his son from gang politics behind bars. None of it was ever confirmed, but in hip-hop culture, gossip often hits harder than facts. The story became less about details, and more about what it represented. A rap legend's son chasing authenticity, only to fall into the same danger zone his father once fought to escape. For T.I., this was not just another PR mess. It was personal. Publicly, he kept his words brief, but insiders said he was burning up phone lines behind the scenes, checking with lawyers, calling in favors, smoothing over every loose end. For over a decade, he had rebuilt himself as a mogul, a TV star, and a father figure, only to watch his son gamble everything for street credibility. The sting had to cut deep. Meanwhile, King was living a double storyline the public could not ignore. He was stepping into fatherhood at the same time his bond with his dad was crumbling. Just weeks after the arrest, on November 5th, 2024, he and longtime girlfriend Jenya Big Nana Epps welcomed their first child, King Jr. 1 month he was in cuffs asking police if he could call his father. The next, he was on Instagram proudly announcing, "Welcome King Jr., time to take over." It was a surreal twist. A young man balancing clout chasing with the sudden reality of responsibility. Even T.I. tried to laugh it off in a hot 107.9 interview, cracking jokes about the irony. But under the humor was the weight of history repeating itself. A father who fought tooth and nail to escape the trap was now watching his son dance with the same fire while raising a child of his own. King's arrest may have been minor on paper, but inside the Harris household, it sent shockwaves for years. T.I. has lived as a man split in two, the hustler turned legend who once rapped about survival, and the protective father determined to keep his kids far from the life that nearly swallowed him. That contradiction makes his battles with King feel bigger than just one reckless night in Dunwoody. Every time King flashes a gun on Instagram Live or talks tough in public, you can almost feel T.I.'s frustration boiling. He spent decades clawing his way out of the trap, building mansions, businesses, and reality shows to give his family a safer future. And his son keeps reaching back towards the same streets he worked so hard to leave behind. That tension exploded at the Falcons game when King shouted that he was never raised soft, claiming his childhood was spent at his grandmother's gritty house, not inside T.I.'s mansion. To the world, it looked like a spoiled outburst, but to King, it was rebellion against the silver spoon label that shadows every rap kid born into success. Hip-hop culture worships struggle and authenticity. But what happens when your father already survived it and left you nothing raw to claim? King has been wrestling with that question since he first picked up a mic. The Falcons' meltdown was just another public chapter in a much deeper father-son war. Clips of the argument went viral, turned into memes, with fans split down the middle. Some siding with T.I., saying he had earned the right to discipline, others defending King for wanting to stand on his own. But beneath the laughs was something raw. A young man pushing against a father's protection, and a father terrified his son was running headfirst into danger to prove he was real. T.I. knows better than most how fast keeping it real can land you in a coffin or a cell. In 2009, he served a year in federal prison on gun charges. Before that, he lived through endless cases, raids, and beefs. He has survived the very life King now imitates for Instagram likes. But instead of learning from that history, King seems intent on repeating it. That push and pull plays out in every headline, every live stream, every leaked argument. And because this is the Harris family, hip-hop royalty with a side of reality TV fame, nothing stays private. Their dynasty has been on display for years through shows like T.I. and Tiny, The Family Hustle, turning their family struggle into a spectacle the world refuses to look away from. When King stumbles, it is never just gossip blogs that pick it up. It is mainstream outlets, hip-hop fans, and even people far outside the culture weighing in. His October arrest turned into a spectacle because the world already felt invested. Everyone had watched him grow up on reality TV. Everyone had heard T.I. preach about fatherhood and redemption. So, when the problem child narrative finally caught fire, it fit too perfectly to ignore. Suddenly, King was not just a 20-year-old with an old bench warrant. He became a symbol of what every famous family struggles with: keeping children grounded when the culture glorifies street credibility. But King's moves are not mindless rebellion. They are calculated plays in a fight for identity. In hip-hop, being the child of a legend is both blessing and curse. Doors open quicker, but the judgment is brutal. Just look at Coi Leray constantly compared to Benzino, or Lil Romeo trying to break free from Masterpiece Shadow. King knows this. He has even said it out loud, once comparing his relationship with T.I. to Ghost and Tariq from Power. A father trying to save his son, and a son who sees protection as control. Fans saw that same dynamic in the viral Falcons game clip, and again in the bodycam footage where King, pride intact, still asked officers if he could call his dad. It is a power struggle soaked in love, twisted by ego, fame, and hip-hop's obsession with realness. The irony is brutal. Every time King tries to prove he is not a spoiled kid, the internet twists it into the opposite. When he flashes guns online, critics say he is play-acting gangster life from a mansion. When he gets arrested, blogs call it a clout stunt gone wrong. When he raps about pain, people question if he has lived it. The harder he fights to escape his father's shadow, the deeper the web pulls him back into the T.I.'s reckless son label. And because social media thrives on spectacle, his stumbles spread faster than his music. His 2024 single Dear Son, released after his own child was born, drew attention not just for the lyrics, but because fans wanted to see if the mugshot kid would show regret or double down on defiance. The art keeps getting drowned out by the drama. For T.I., that is devastating. This is not about brand management. It is about a father watching his warnings ignored in real time. Insiders say that when King was arrested, T.I. stayed quiet online because he was working the phones behind the scenes. Lawyers, court clerks, even street contacts to keep things from spiraling. He knows one bad night can change a life forever. But he also knows there is only so much a father can do once his son is grown and determined to walk the hard road. Publicly, T.I. plays it cool. Privately, it is a different story. And yet, this saga is not just another celebrity train wreck. There is a raw vulnerability running underneath. The moment King became a father, the stakes changed. Suddenly, the kid chasing authenticity had a child watching him. T.I., who once went to prison before transforming his life, now sees his own story mirrored, only faster, messier, and live-streamed to millions. The question now is whether fatherhood will slow King down or push him deeper into the pressure cooker. Social media clowns him relentlessly, but the truth is more human. King is a young man caught between privilege he hates and streets he does not fully understand. T.I. is a father torn between love and tough love. That tension is why every clip goes viral. It is bigger than gossip. It has become a modern hip-hop fable. Fame bought safety, but safety does not sell records. T.I. built an empire so his kids would not struggle, and now that comfort is the very thing King resents. Fans see themselves in both sides, parents trying to guide kids who will not listen, and young adults desperate to prove independence even if it burns them. That is why every mugshot becomes a meme. Every argument becomes a think piece. This story is not just about T.I. and King. It is about what happens when the first generation of trap moguls raise children in a culture that still worships the struggle. And now King Harris stands at the heaviest crossroads of his life. One path traps him in the loop he has been chasing: viral arrests, live stream bravado, and music overshadowed by scandal. The other path is harder, but more powerful: growing up, embracing fatherhood, and carving his own lane beyond his father's shadow. The birth of King Jr. could be that turning point. Becoming a father at 20 is difficult for anyone, but under the spotlight, it becomes life-altering. Overnight, the internet's favorite troublemaker became somebody's dad. That responsibility will either build him or break him. Every move he makes now will echo louder, not just in headlines, but in the eyes of his son. If he channels that weight into his music, he has a real chance at redemption. Hip-hop has always respected pain transformed into art. Meek Mill, 21 Savage, both turned trouble into timeless storytelling. King's arrest, the viral fights with T.I., the endless memes. Those could all fuel something real if he is willing to be honest instead of performative. Dear Son hinted at that growth, but one song is not enough. He will need consistency, maturity, and stories that feel lived, not borrowed. Controversy sparks clicks, but respect is the only currency that lasts. Still, the challenge is massive. Rap fans are harsh on rap royalty. If you are born into fame, people expect either brilliance or disaster, nothing in between. Coi Leray fought it. Jaden Smith fought it. Diggy Simmons fought it. Now King faces the same battle, while also navigating a culture that glorifies struggle. The same fans who mock his privilege also demand proof he is real. It is a trap with no easy escape. Too privileged to be street, too street to be polished, too famous to be normal, too unproven to be legendary. His father's shadow is massive. Platinum records, reality shows, businesses. Every step King takes is measured against that. Even his mistakes bounce back onto T.I., turning family drama into trending topics. That explains why King reaches so desperately for authenticity. But fatherhood could change that if he lets it. Raising a child has a way of cutting through ego. T.I. himself has admitted that fatherhood was what forced him to reinvent after prison. King has the same chance now, to stop proving toughness and start proving presence, responsibility, and artistry. Hip-hop loves a redemption arc almost as much as it loves drama. If King flips the story from reckless son of a legend to a young father and artist growing up in real time, fans might root for him instead of roasting him. The cycle of clout chasing does not have to define him forever. He can take being misunderstood and turn it into fuel. The bigger picture is that King's journey will ripple through the culture. It will decide how people view hip-hop dynasties. T.I. was one of the first trap stars to build generational wealth and put family life on TV. If King rises, it proves a rap mogul's child can stumble, learn, and still create greatness. If he falls deeper, it reinforces the narrative that second-generation fame cannot handle the pressure. That is why people care. Because this is not just gossip. It is a generational story. And make no mistake, the spotlight will not move. Every Instagram post, every interview will be dissected. If King raps about the streets, the internet will mock him. If he goes conscious, they will doubt him. If he stays silent, rumors will fill the gap. That is the reality of fame in 2025. Your identity becomes content whether you like it or not. But King still controls one thing: his actions. A focused grind, serious music, staying out of unnecessary beef, and embracing fatherhood could rewrite his reputation. The culture loves a comeback more than a crash. It is on him to choose which story he wants to live. In the end, this is not just about one arrest or one argument. It is about a father and son caught between two worlds. A man who escaped the trap, and a son running toward it without seeing the danger. It is about cycles, how kids of legend search for identity, how fame becomes a cage, and how love between father and son bends under the spotlight. King Harris still has time to flip his story, to move from viral headline to redemption arc. The question is whether he will take that chance or keep sprinting toward an image that does not love him back. Either way, the world will be watching. Every step, every song, every decision will shape whether his legacy becomes one of regret or redemption. King Harris is no longer just living in T.I.'s shadow. He is writing the next chapter of a hip-hop dynasty. And how it ends is up to him.